What's good, YouTube? And welcome to a new sponsor and Godzilla trailer drop date. It looks freaking sick. So far, no versus monsters again here for a Toho version of Godzilla. It's -1 if you want to look it up, and it will be running in US theaters. That's not sponsored at all, but what is Cardboard Concierge. I know one of the owners, and it is pretty darn reputable. What they're going to be doing is taking cards from other sellers and putting them in locations around the world, so there will be worldwide shipping. They'll be able to ship from warehouse to warehouse, and they are working on the high-end market. Orders must be around the $100, but there's also going to be early giveaways. I think something like 24 25 boxes are going to be given away to early orders, as well as, I believe, free sleeves with orders early on. If you want to check that on checkout, load your cart to see around the site, and definitely also check that handsome writer in the article page. It's me. I also did an article with them telling you how to spot different fakes within the entire, range of fakes that have been existing so far. Fakes are only going to get better as we continue, and having trained experts like them to be able to go through, but also try to price under TCG players, slightly under the Facebook marketplace, where you have to wonder if you're getting scammed, if this guy's got the right refs. I had somebody recently actually try to screenshot other people's refs to me, and I could have got for around the $100 if my intuition didn't kick in and go, I'm gonna go and look in the group. Wait, these aren't yours, dude. So yeah, seriously, different marketplaces come with expected losses, but these guys, they have, of course, on hand, in person, clear shots of the cards, and I don't like the Master Piss series personally, but a lot of the Blue Eyes have actually been going off market or up in price. They have this at $2K, which is where it had been selling at, instead of $2,500, $2,700, and again, that discount code can get you a pretty big chunk off of pretty big items if that's what you're hunting. Now, going in the later pages, they have cool stuff like misprints. Some of them are a bit high for my taste, but this one actually tempts me. The Arm Dragon level 7 foil shift here, where it also goes into the card. And look at that, an actual detailed, lit up, zoom in picture of the back on the site, so you can decide, this light play one, do I want it, don't I want it? And actual pretty accurate looks. You don't have like corners that are bad, etc. Like, it's more the back, and they really show you the worst side of it. So again, really longtime members of the community running this site. It is nice to see it go up, and I might one day maybe even sell some cards on here myself, because I like the layout, I like what they're doing. I believe they're also working on features like you can sort by Europrint if you're looking for Europrint cards and stuff like this. A community resource that's definitely been needed and wanted for a very long time, and honestly, I'm surprised did not pop up during the Crush card boom time. Also, speaking of sponsors, you can use code What'sGood5 for 5% off and support the channel directly over at Mana Moon. They're almost out of the deck boxes, so I would get those sooner than later if you're wanting those. But the playmat, the border sleeves, everything on this collection looks great. And Konami, you wouldn't DQ somebody for the inside of, equivalent of OCG arts, even though you might censor them for the TCG, right? Going into today's Market Watch, the Megatons are looking like a flop mad early. Once in a while something like this reverses. I don't think that'll be the case here. People are offloading the 10s under $14 each on TCG Player, and I think it's going to get worse from there by how product has been going. The promo, not promos multiple, don't seem to be doing the lifting on the 10s. Everything's already, for the most part, under Gamer Choice pre-sales, which I did warn definitely could happen with the slash burn and turn that people might be going through with these 10s. That's been a lot of product lately, as we're going to cover as well, and this is just real bad. Versus fees and shipping, I think they're already taking losses on pre-sales of the 10s with the upped MSRP. This is pretty much unseen with a flagship product, and just shouldn't be how it is, but it's where people have really stuck themselves along with Konami's sinking ship on most modern products. I'm hopium on the rarity collection. Look at Dune boxes, dude. Like, they're down to 40. This isn't to laugh at anybody who went in on them. Green set, duelist in the title. A lot of people were saying that, myself included, and yeah, it did not pan out. It is looking real thirsty for value. And going into the set, Lubellion down towards 18 versus that upped MSRP. No card is getting you back that value of the 10. You're having to pull multiple things, get multiple things. We don't even know if they're short prints yet with the ratios, or if Konami tightened back up since they're not injecting the 10s with singles this year. this is one of the worst kind of things to see of all time. I saw Joshua Schmidt's discussion on it, and one thing he really left out, because he defended the model of the 10s versus years past, are how promos used to do way more lifting versus just the sets, and then from the sets, we'd also get a couple of things that would be the MSRP of the 10, like Solemn Strike. Like, when we're talking about promos, we look back and we have Desires, Pot of Duality, Norden, we have Ghost Ogre, we have Game Changers and Staples in Megatins, not just Collector's Tins where you go back to Maxi Tour Guide. In the Megatins, we had game-changing cards or staples, and here we're getting vanities of other cards where, funny enough, this is being challenged, and after pre-sales might go down under the Speed Duel Secret Rare Classic Look Dark Magician with the SDY art, and that would be mind-blowing to me if this product is so bad that single goes under this, even though I do love the card stock on these Speed Duel cards. A lot of people complain about that Speed Duel stamp, and it does turn off certain collectors despite how clean they are. This entire set has been getting eaten up on the singles, which will probably push the sealed, kind of like that other Battle City Speed Duel set. We'll have to wait and see. Funny that a Speed Duel product's one of the only successful ones in terms of, yeah, it's under MSRP, but versus how you actually have to pay to get it, it's actually doing good. Now, going back into the singles again, a lot of them falling down versus other people's pre-sales marginally so far, and that's with the people that are usually not as interested in burning and turning early and trying to juice. Instead, they're interested in getting it out of their hands right now, even at a loss for the sealed. So yeah, if it's that bad this early, I don't have too much faith that it's going to be any better later. There's no import card, which is what they were trying to balance with, where it's like Crossout Designator or Dragoon that should really help sell the 10 within the set either. Instead, you have like the Spiral thing, the Time Thief, and it's not really game-changing like it was. They're failing on every single Megaton model versus the past and hoping 25th anniversary cards would do the lifting, and spoiler, they're not going to. What sold the Legendary collections is pure nostalgia, and this nostalgia is not gonna be enough early on. We'll have to see how it ages, but early on it's gonna be a bloodbath. Unchained, speaking of Dune needing a little bit of value, did pretty good at the YCS, and we do see the quarter century rare here actually going up in price, as well as the ultra rare on Unchained Soul Lord Yama, and a lot of the other cards also peaking on up. People are talking about counters, how this kills the deck, that kills the deck, but you know, when there are results, it's a fun deck. It's been a huge thing in the community with Coder for a long time as well. You're going to see realistically people get attracted and pulled towards that deck, especially when they have experience with it from before. Cross Out Designator is going up further in price. It was around 10, and I was already going to talk about it, 8 to 10. Here it goes towards 12. Really good within this metagame. One of the only counters to Dimensional Barrier, and funny enough, when you click the barrier, even the Secret Rare First Edition's down in price, where in metagames where it's played, usually it's up. Banlist fears are real. Even with the 10s, people are scared of banlist fears because of past 10s, although since, what was it, 2017, where they hurt Dryden, reprinted Cosmic Cyclone and Dimension Barrier soon after. That's probably actually the worst 10 ever in some senses. But when it comes down to it, people don't like this card, so actually it goes down from there. And then to top it off, like, people are scared of the ban list. So yeah, the first editions are down towards like $11, where usually when it's successful, it's 20. Very interesting result. But back to Crossout Designator, hits a lot of things in mirror matches, is able to do lifting against power cards you would have no other answer to, causing you to also side in cards, which usually people that, when they max rarity, their side in copy as well. Abyss Dweller also down bad. I find this one pretty funny because for past format, for people calling for the ultimate rare forever, it's down under 40, like, and people are calling it the answer to like Unchained. They're playing it. Very interesting card that I feel like has so much potential, but so many people held for so long and are bitter about. It's very interesting on this card in specific. Now, Drone Lockbird is going up for its Tama version and other versions, so do be aware, even the lowest version of this, it's getting played somewhat heavily in the format. I warned about that long ago, showing Jeff Jones was also talking about it shortly after I was talking about it. We talk about Droll cycling in and out of formats all the time, though. It's not like the hardest call in the world to say you might want to think about Droll and Lockbird, right? It's one of those, you throw the football and hope it lands in somebody's arms that you trust. But seriously, Droll and Lockbird up pretty easy call within formats to say it might do something, and it's doing a little something. The Chimera deck continues to get buyouts. The super rare is absolutely skyrocketing out of Yugi's World. Again, Yugi's World, not the most printed into the ground legendary collection ever, and first edition has more weight than Unlim. People love maxing out their stuff. There's still cheap-ish copies of these, but a lot of them are getting eaten up. But there is the Yugi legendary deck that has one as well to keep it cheaper. King Tiger Wengu doing a little something with the deck, it seems, and yeah, like, oh, hey, look over at them Purleys and stuff like that. Funny Floodgate monster, yep, coming back in here. It does have multiple printing. Somebody in the Discord is like, only one printing. I was like, I know it has a battle pack besides its OG. Also has a champion pack Dark Beginning, but those aren't the easiest sets in the world to source, which easily get bought out. But yeah, Floodgate, Funny Monster, yep. Chaos Angel is rebounding. We actually recently covered this, and this is the month graph, and how it had been down a little and was starting to climb. It's about a $60 card, again, quickly on the front page, so be aware people are going back towards it, and probably more reprint safe cards. Skullmeister got a lot of mentions at the YCS, and its collector rare actually has a ton of sales through this weekend, so be aware people are going towards that. But I remember when this was a $70 solid card. Sheesh, look at that. That's fallen in the last 3 months. People have been running from collector rares, Starlight rares, modern investments, and really throwing away TCG cards that aren't either popular in past formats or first had old collectibles, ultimate stuff like that. Like even some ultimates, like just straight down the drain and running from Yu-Gi-Oh! And holding right now. And Apophis, the Swamp Deity, a super rare, is spiking up here, but not all that much yet. It's an interesting card from Photon Hypernova. Reads, during the main phase, special summon this card as a normal Reptile Earth level 6. This card's still a trap. Then you can negate the effects of face-up cards your opponent controls up to the number of continuous traps you control. So if you have multiple floodgates up, it's even more powerful, but you're going to get one for itself because it's also still a trap card. So very, very interesting trap monster here. I believe that's how it's ruled. Correct me if I'm wrong, but I'm pretty sure it says it's still a trap. And then finally, Fantastic Dragon Phantasme. It's lower copies or lower on quantities and up in price percentage. Achoo, achoo, my allergies, gold rares. People really just don't touch these versions of cards. And it is the alter art, the OG art does kind of go harder. But yeah, the secret rare is not up huge, but it is up a little bit versus market price. I think it's like towards $20 or something, which is actually quote unquote down over the last couple of months too. So again, a lot of nice cards got cheaper as we entered the off season. People are picking back up stuff. They're playing in the current format. You're still going to see events, regionals, all of that, but things typically heat up more after the winter. We're going to get the Rarity Collection, which Hopium is a successful set at this point. It's looking real bad for Yu-Gi-Oh! And Yu-Gi-Oh! Sealed. And Rarity Collection feels too big to fail in some senses, but it's going to get so bought. And I feel really bad for the EU. I think they're paying like $18 a 10, where the US is paying like 13 some odd. And Rarity Collection's 1.5x also from Distro. It's just not a good place for you all in the EU, UK, other regions right now. And US product is cheaper and it's still doing this bad. So if you're paying even more for it and it's failing, it's not looking real good for product this year. It's probably the worst year of product ever. I remember when we complained about like one set flopping, like Shadow Specters. This just ain't it. Which is why I would, if you're looking to still place your money in Yu-Gi-Oh!, not a financial advisor channel, go towards odds and ends, misprints, ancient stuff that can't really lose its value all that much. I'm personally going into giant cards, but I want giant cards just to hang on my wall. So that's not really an investment, more of a, I know I could get some money back, but I really like big shiny card. With collectibles, be very selective. Cash is very much king right now. Like high yield savings are 4-5%, pretty crazy numbers. CDs, even long-term ones, make sure they can't be called 5%, like plus. Cash is very king right now, and it's very interesting where it's at. So if you're sinking your money into collectibles, do risk assessments. Really think about what you're doing and what you're putting in your money in, because a lot of people are running from Starlights right now, and now nothing's safe thanks to Rarity Collection. it's interesting where people are placing their bets, especially with past formats becoming all the more popular, which there's a lot of stuff for that on this website. Code What's Good 5 for 5% off and to support the channel directly. At this point, I'm rambling. Thanks for watching. Wouldn't be here without y'all, and I really do appreciate it. Now go watch the Godzilla trailer after you check this site out.